I'm not gonna lie, I low-key feel like I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. And boy, has so much shit happened since, like, I think the last video I posted was in April. So much has happened. I think May was the worst month I have had in so long. Basically, I think I'd been talking a lot about my mentor, or I'm just gonna put it plainly, like my horse trainer, and I did end up reaching out to one of the girls, and that ended up reaching out to everyone. That ended up me reaching out to everyone. I was on the call with this girl for almost 6 hours between 2 days, just decompressing, like her telling me absolutely everything, and I cannot even begin to describe how I felt. You know, in a way, I'm mad at myself because I feel like I've been stupid and I have completely, disregarded my values that I have as a person for this woman. To put it sort of plainly, she manipulated me so badly into giving her money for something that she knew I couldn't have because my grandmother was actively dying in a hospice as she was trying to pressure me into a horse lease. And obviously I couldn't pay the second month because I was taking care of my grandmother. So we had a conversation and we paused the contract. We terminated the contract. And she ended up breaking her foot by that same horse that I was leasing, and she couldn't use her foot, and she would just extort me for labor and make me feel bad that I hadn't paid her, and kind of just blaming everything on me, the condition of the horses on me, everything on me. At the same time as I'm processing my grandmother in hospice, working, trying to finish the last 2 months of high school, dealing with enrolling in college classes, all of that stuff, and I have this woman here making me swallow this. So eventually she got kicked out of the barn that she was at, and she made one of her boarders pay for a trailer, and she brought all of the horses to this very small Paso Fino barn with barbed wire as the fencing for the arena, an arena with very bad footing, covered in rocks with grass literally coming out from the sand, where horses are jumping meter 20s, and there's no turnout. The stalls are fucking disgusting. There's roaches in the feed room. It's just bad. It's so bad. And I ride there once, and I don't mention it to this woman that much, but I just bring it up hey, the horses are starting to get thrush because they have no mats and they're in their stalls all day. You're not cleaning up their shit correctly. Their feet look terrible. They look terrible. 3 of the horses colicked. The horse I was leasing 2 weeks after I terminated the contract, she colicked so bad she went to the clinic, had surgery, and her owner had to pay I think $15,000 or $20,000 for the bill. So mind you, after this, I went up an hour. She drove me an hour and a half with her owner to go see this horse because I loved this horse so much. And I was there after her surgery, and a few days after, I was at school with one of my best friends, and she calls me livid, saying I need to be at the barn. And mind you, with everything I'm already processing at this time, with my anxiety up the roof, she calls me, tells me I need to be at the barn right there and then, and the color drains from my face. My friend sees this, and they take me. We're speeding down the road, and I throw up in the car from how anxious I am. I get there, this other woman that's helping her is there taking care of this other horse, and she's taking care of me also because she sees how fucked up I look. And the trainer calls me, and she's just talking shit about this woman, yelling how no one's helping her, as she's actively helping this horse. So it was just shit like that. And I ended up just being so disgusted that I did some things, and she ended up calling me because something was posted anonymously on a Facebook group, and she like went crazy. And then this same day, my brother had gone to the ER, my grandmother went to the hospital, I was pulling it together to be at my friend's birthday party, and now I'm dealing with this. So I was literally having the worst night of my life. And the day after, I went to the social worker. I had a panic attack, and I blocked the trainer everywhere. And yeah. So then, literally everyone is reaching out to me, because when I tell you this shit was like a cult, and like you weren't allowed to talk to anyone that had made it out, now everyone was talking to me, telling me about their experiences with her. And I felt like my entire world for the last year had just been flipped upside down. I think 2 weeks after this, it was prom, and my cousin did my makeup, and we took a picture with my grandmother. I think it was the 16th, and that was the last picture of my grandmother that was ever taken. I remember we had to hold her up, and she was shaking, and she just stared, like blinked out when we took a picture together, like me with my prom dress and my cousin. And that was the last picture that was ever taken of her. I ended up drinking that night with my friends. We stayed in a hotel room. The day after, we went to the beach. It was really nice. We went out to eat after, like we took a nap. We drove back to our house, where we live, and we all went out to eat again. And then I slept most of the day. And at night, I was basically awake all night, and I hear my mom at like 1 or 2 in the morning going in to check on her. I fall asleep. I wake up at 3, and she had like a machine to stimulate her diaphragm, and it was beeping, and I called my mom and I told her, hey, she's awake again. She went to take care of her, and I went back to sleep. And then I woke up at 6, and something just felt so off. And I went into her bedroom, and she wasn't breathing. I went back into my room, and I heard my mom go in. I heard her like gasp, and I heard her run back into her room, and she went with my dad, and they both went in, and then they went downstairs to go outside to the backyard. And that's kind of what solidified it for me. And that same day, I had a final, and I had to go in. I took it in crying, and then I think what fucked me up was all these fucking people that did not care to see my grandmother. They came, they made every excuse to be at my house, to go to mass at night, when they could never take the time out of their day. There was always an excuse to not see her. And that just fucked me up. But yeah, that day was terrible. I think that was the 21st, I think, the 20th, or I don't remember. Prom was the 16th. It was 2 or 3 days after that. But yeah, I've had a very rough month. I graduated, and that was a very nice memory. Obviously, we had my grandmother's funeral like a week after she passed, and that was very heavy. And yeah, I graduated somehow. Like, after those very terrible 2 weeks, I really had to pull it together because I was on the verge of literally failing all of my classes, like, because I did not study for a single final. That week was actually terrible. But my friends really cheered me up. We went to the beach, we drank, I gained so much weight. But now that I'm, like, in this kind of transient state, I think graduation was a week ago, I feel like now I can actually process everything, because everything's been so back to back. And yeah. But yeah, that's kind of just how it's been. The reason I said I felt like I was gonna have a heart attack is because I've not satiated myself very well lately. I've dropped a bit. I think I'm the lowest I've been in a while. I'm bordering like 119 right now. And I had an energy drink. And I feel so terrible. But yeah, I guess it's easier to keep now because I don't have an appetite. I'm just, like, crying and laying in bed all day, and I think I'm just letting it all out before I have to, like, put myself together again in 2 weeks when my college term starts. So yeah, that's just how it's been right now. That's why I was, like, gone, because it's been a rough fucking month and a half. But yeah, I hope you all stay safe if you're seeing this somehow through the depths of YouTube. I consider this, like, dark content, deep web, I don't know. But yeah, stay safe. Bye-bye.